Hi, good morning, good afternoon, you guys, or evening if you're watching the video. Ms. Sally's making an instructional video on how to do a basket. So, there's several ways you can make one. You can do one by paper mache, which I'm going to show you, or cutting out strips of paper. If you don't have construction paper, it's okay. You can get some paper and your crayons and color the paper so you can have your paper colorful. You can either paint the paper as well. I'm going to color my paper with some crayons. I'm going to do mine brown and my other one's going to be rainbow. So I'm coloring my paper, just white paper. You don't need construction paper. Just color it. Color the whole sheet of paper. You can go crazy. It doesn't have to be perfect, but I'm just coloring it one color, for example. And I also have some newspaper down to keep the table clean. So that's for all the projects. Put some newspaper down so you don't make a mess on your kitchen table or your dining room table if you're at home. So I'm just coloring the paper really fast. Doesn't have to be perfect. There you go. You could do the other side if you want, but you don't have to. And this can be a rainbow, but I just use brown because we're doing a nest. Cut some strips of paper. You cut it into strips. You can do the folding method that Ms. Joy showed you earlier, or you can do just cutting strips. So they don't even have to be perfect strips. Cut your strips. See, I'm cutting my strips. They're not perfect lines. That's okay. Real quick, just cut some strips of your paper. Okay, so another method you can do, I'm going to show that later, is with paper mache. And that's where you need a bowl, some glue and water, and some paint. And that is like a 2-day project. I'm going to show you the first step, and I'll put the final result up on Remind so you can see my final result of my paper mache nest for you guys. And you can even use it as an Easter basket if you want to, for your Easter celebration if you do celebrate Easter. So I cut all my paper strips into strips like this, see? And they're all brown. So I got a little basket. If you don't have a basket, you can use a bowl. Here's a bowl. This is not the paper mache yet. This is just making a makeshift basket. So I'm putting the strips in the basket, laying them out in the basket. You can also use newspaper strips. You can use sticks to line your basket. See? And to make a nice little nest. You don't have to use just paper. You can use straws, sticks. You can use so many other things. Sorry about the background. I have people that don't care that I'm working. So, along with the strips, along with that, you can put that aside. I'm going to do the paper mache method. So the basket method, you'll be done with it. You could just put your eggs in it and you're done with your project. Or you can do the paper mache. I'm going to show you the paper mache right now. I'm going to cover a bowl. See, I have a bowl. You can use plastic wrap or a plastic bag to cover the bowl. I'm covering the bowl. Also, I'm making sure that I have something to keep the mess contained. I have a big paper plate I can throw away afterward, or you can just do it on top of some newspaper. So I'm getting another, you can get a plate or a bowl, fill it, a disposable plate or bowl, fill it with some water and glue. I'm going to fill this one with a little water, and I have Mod Podge. I didn't have any glue, but it works the same way as glue. And you put it inside a little plate or bowl. And forgot my water. I'll get that real quick. Okay, I got a little cup of water, and I'm going to put some Mod Podge in it. You don't have to have Mod Podge. You can have just regular glue. I just have Mod Podge. It works the same way. And I'm mixing it in a little plastic cup so I can throw it away. But yours don't have to. Glue and Mod Podge and water are all non-toxic, so it's okay to use it in your regular. But I just use all my stuff is disposable because I have it. So I'm pouring a little bit in a bowl or plate. I got a little disposable plate right here. Pouring it in my water and Mod Podge solution. Like I said, you don't need Mod Podge. You can use glue. And I'm using my strips that I cut out earlier, dipping it in the Mod Podge solution water, and covering. This is a little messy project. I'm covering the bowl with the strips. See? With the plastic. So, you can use the strips you already cut. If you don't want to do that, you can also use newspaper. I would suggest using newspaper because paper absorbs the water faster. So I'm going to use newspaper, and when it dries, you can use some paint to color it. Or if you have brown construction paper, just cut brown construction paper. Use your Mod Podge and water to do it. So doing this method is going to take a day for your stuff to dry before you can start the painting. But I'm going to show you how to do it. So if you're working along with the video with Miss Sally, you'll be like, oh, Miss Sally's doing this. And I'm like, okay, good. You're following along. So I'm cutting some strips of newspaper that I found around the house. We always have newspaper at my house. And you just dip it in your water solution. Look at my strips. And I'm dipping it in the Mod Podge. It's okay if your fingers get messy. Dip it in the Mod Podge, cover it up, cover the bowl that you covered with plastic wrap or with a plastic bag. The bowl. And you just keep doing it until the whole thing is covered. You don't see no more plastic. So I'm going to just keep doing that right here. You can watch me doing that. That should be relaxing for you. me covering the bowl with paper strips. And we're gonna pray it works. I did it before. I made a this is not my first time Mod Podging and making a nest and bowl. This is be my first time doing it at home, and using Mod Podge. I read somewhere it's the same concept of glue and water using Mod Podge, so I'm hoping that works. I have to use what I got. Also, while we're on the topic of covering your bowl with Mod Podge, if you don't want to use a bowl and you have balloons at home, I have a balloon. You can blow up a balloon and also cover that with strips of paper too. And when you're done and letting it dry, you can pop the balloon, and that'll be fun. But right now I'm using a bowl. I'm also going to show you how to do it on a balloon too, because that'll be fun. You don't need to cover up the balloon with anything, because the balloon is going to be disposable. Excuse the sound and people walking behind me. So see, I covered the bowl with the strips of newspaper, or your strips that you cut out earlier. You can cover that up, and it could be a colorful nest as well. It doesn't have to be just like Ms.Sally's. See? And I have some paint right here. Once this dries, I will color it. I have brown and some light yellow. I'm gonna mix those together, get a nice light color brown, or it could be a dark brown, or it can be a rainbow nest. This is your nest. You do what you want to do with it. Do you, boo boo? I'm gonna show you how to do it on a balloon, and that'll be done. And I'll be done with my video. So I got the little basket I had before. I'm blowing up my balloon. It doesn't have to be a pink balloon. And this is the part where your mommy and daddy can blow up the balloon for you. It can be big, it can be small. It's your basket. It's your nest. You can do what you want to do with it. So I put it in my basket. You can also cover the basket with plastic so it doesn't get messed up. I'm going to do that. I have another plastic bag. I'm going to go get that. Give me one sec. So I got a regular old plastic bag. This is a good recycling project. You don't have to cover the balloon, but I don't want to mess up this nice basket with glue and everything. So I'm covering up the basket before I start the project of covering up the balloon. So the basket is nicely covered and protected. And I'm putting the balloon back in the basket. And now you can cover the balloon. So I'm dipping, I'm still going to use strips of newspaper. I'm dipping it in the glue and water solution. It's okay to make a little mess. You can always wash your hands. And this is why we put down newspaper at the table. And if you are worried, mom and dad, if you're worried about them making a mess on their clothing, I can also send a link on how to make a makeshift, what do you call that? Makeshift apron or smock to protect their clothing, and you use a trash bag, and you just cut out a hole for the arm and head, and boom, you have a makeshift smock, and their clothes won't get dirty. For big projects at my old job, we used to make makeshift smocks for the kids because the parents were like, did not want their kids' clothing to get messed up, and found it somewhere online because there's no new ideas under the sun that you can make a smock out of a plastic bag. Just make sure they're not playing with it and putting it in their face. And hopefully you're not letting them do this all by themselves because they can spill the glue, water, and everything, but it's okay because it's just water and glue, and it's all non-toxic. So this is a great, fun, messy project for the holidays, and once it's done, it could become a nest, or if you believe in Easter, an Easter basket. You can put handles on it. And there you go. So you're just covering up the whole balloon with your glue and water solution. You could put as many layers as you want. This is a good busy project to do with your young ones. Even the older ones will like doing this. I did this with older kids when I worked with after school care, and they actually enjoyed this project as well because it's a messy project. And I did it with kids that didn't believe in Easter, but we was just making like baskets to put treats in, and you know, do a scavenger hunt, because I believe everyone should have fun during the holidays. And that's all Ms.Sally wrote. I hope you guys enjoyed this project. Hope it didn't take too long. You can just use material that is around your house. It's okay if you don't have this paint I got from Walmart, $1. And this paint, they only sell these kind of paints during the school year, I saw. But you can also go into the art section and find these little watercolor paints. This is great for a rainy day. These watercolors is not that messy. It's just water and the colors that are already here, and it doesn't mess up their clothes if you're worried about a mess. So that's all she wrote. You just let this dry, and you'll pop the balloon. With this one, if you did it on a bowl, you let it dry. Well, once it's dry, you can paint it. And then once it's all dry, you can use it. You could put eggs in it. You could put treats in it. You could just put it on your kitchen table as a centerpiece for something. And that's your nest. And I'm hoping to see pictures of your end result. I will look forward to it. When I'm done with this, I will make sure to post up pictures of my done nest. And that's all. Bye, you guys.